guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we are going to be going over FL2K coverage. This video is going to be a little bit different because I honestly didn't record much at FL2K. I was so focused on racing and just enjoying the moment, being there. I'll be honest, I didn't vlog as much. So I have tons of clips. We're going to be reviewing them all and going into more details. So first things first, I entered myself into the stick shift class. Now, this class is very competitive. I mean, we have 6-second cars in here and a lot of cars that are dialed in and things like that. So I kind of just threw myself to the wolves. One reasoning is because my car really isn't ready for the X front wheel drive or sport front wheel drive, whatever you like to call it, class yet. I have to do so many more modifications to the car the way it sits. Currently, my cage is certified for 850. Now, everyone in the X front wheel drive or sport front wheel drive class is running low 8s to high 7s. So I'm nowhere near there yet. I'm working my way towards there. And there's just so many updates to the chassis that I have to do to become competitive in that field. I want to mention that my car is full weight, completely full weight. I have never cut the chassis ever, and that's going to be an issue. So besides the cage that needs to be upgraded, because again, it's only certified for 850, I have to cut the chassis. I need to add more weight to the front and take out all the weight pretty much from the rear. And that's a big thing. So many little upgrades that I need to get done eventually. I built this car with no intention of competing in sport front wheel drive, to be honest. As I started progressing with the build, I started making changes, and then I kind of realized that that's the class that I wanted to race in. But at that time, the cage was already done, and we pretty much had everything mocked up and ready to go. So I kind of just left the car as is. I'm like, let me get this seat time. Let me enjoy driving the car, get behind the wheel before we go extreme, make the car super light, and the car becomes a little bit more difficult to drive. So that's why I did not enter myself into that class. So then I thought about doing 950 index, but then I'm like, 950 index, the car runs 8s consistently now, thank God, after this event. So I was like, I don't want to limit myself. I don't want to get there and have to let off and have to like not just focus on letting off and trying to get that 950. I'm like, that's not going to be any fun. I need to get this car dialed in. I'm hoping that it can run 850s the way it sits pretty much. That's the goal. And then over the winter, I'm going to have to be doing some serious upgrades. I did not come into this event expecting to win anything or take anything home. I came into this event honestly super nervous because I just didn't know how the car was going to perform. Before this event, I only ran one 8-second pass, and that was 8.6, which is my personal best still to this day. So in this first pass, you're going to see I actually ran pretty good for it to be straight off the trailer. We ran an 8.8 at 151 miles per hour. Actually, I was pretty happy again to just take it off the trailer, and that was my first pass. Unfortunately, the following passes, you'll see we had some issues. So on my second pass, I did not hold the anti-lag long enough, and to be honest, I was having issues with that over the weekend. When I went to the burnout box, I thought that I was on anti-lag long enough, and then as soon as I let off the clutch, the car would die out because I wasn't on it long enough to do a burnout. So I did learn again over the weekend that I need to hold the anti-lag, stop being afraid. And I don't think it's so much about being afraid. It's just that the car's so loud that I hear it and I'm like, okay, I'm good, I can let off. And really, it's just turbo's just now building boost. That was a lesson. I did it a few times in the burnout box where the car just kept dying out because I was not holding it long enough, but I learned from it. Once I realized that was, the issue, I made sure every other pass that I was holding on to it longer. Unfortunately, second pass, I was not on it long enough at the tree, and as soon as I let off the clutch, the car obviously bogged out because it wasn't at full boost. So then my third qualifying pass of the day, I did not have a clean pass either, which sucks, unfortunately. We were thinking there was issues with the strain gauge, but honestly, as we started watching the GoPro footage, we're realizing that when I went to put it into second, I kind of pushed forward a little bit, so the strain automatically thought it was time to cut, which it wasn't. So when I went to pull it into second, it already had made that cut. So for those who are not familiar with the strain gauge, it's where you do not pretty much use the clutch at all. You use it for the launch. You know, you basically stage, and once you let off to first, you're moving your clutch foot, and you're pretty much just doing everything with your hand. And essentially what it does is has that split second where it cuts, does an ignition cut, and that's pretty much how you get a better time. Because before strains and all of that stuff came out, you would have to clutch the car, which obviously one, it eventually does damage to the clutch after some time, and second, it takes time to power shift essentially, and that's a split second that you are basically losing. So the strain pretty much eliminates all of that, and it's pretty neat setup, to be honest. I love it, but again, I just have to get used to my hand. I either grab the strain to, it's sensitive, and it can all be adjusted, so you can adjust the strain sensitivity and all of that stuff, which is what we're learning because everybody's different. Some people, you know, pull harder while others are not hard enough, so those are adjustments that you can make. But I'm pretty much learning that one, I need to get my hand off of the shifter until it's time to shift, but I think I'm just getting so comfortable with the car that once I launch, I'm already ready to go in a second. So that's what happened with that pass essentially. But just to be safe, we swapped out my strain with the brand new one, and I had no issues with it the rest of the entire event, luckily. Big thing, I love watching the GoPro footage because it just shows me how I can improve as a driver and improve overall.
At least I get to go tomorrow into eliminations feeling okay, even though I'm gonna be hella nervous, to be honest. But man, I am just happy we've battled struggles. This is literally my second clean pass out of a total of 5. So 2 good passes, 3 bad ones. Hopefully tomorrow we can make up for everything.
I'm just happy that I left this event with one, more knowledge than ever than I had before. I got a lot of seat time. I mean, I did a total of 5 qualifying passes, and then we had the 1 round of eliminations, which unfortunately was against Granis. So he was actually all over the place throughout the weekend, having issues with the car. So when I lined up next to him, I knew that anything could happen, and I was just ready to go. He could either fail at staging, red light, or the car could just continue to have issues like he was having previously during the weekend. So I went all out, but that was probably, I think, one of his best passes of the weekend for his first round of eliminations. So shout out to Granis. Congrats for you, man. That car is just awesome. It's so damn fast. It's crazy how it's 6-second H pattern car, something you really don't see nowadays. It's a really sick build, and it was honestly an honor to line up to him after seeing that car go down the track so many times. It's pretty cool to be lining up to drivers that you once used to look at in the stands, and now you're right next to them at the light. So man, it was such a fun event. Thank you to everybody who showed so much love. Thank you to everybody who came by to check out the car. Thank you for all the positive messages. So that's it for today's video, guys. Huge shout out again to Vic from FL2K for throwing such a great event. Huge shout out to GP1 Racing for helping me. And congrats to Mark P from GP1 Racing. He is number 2 on the Honda all-wheel drive list currently right now. Has the 2nd fastest all-wheel drive Honda in the world. I believe he ran a 7.3 pass, and it was awesome to just see it because that car battled out so many issues last year, and it's just awesome to see it turn around. He started off, I believe his best pass was 7.6, and then he ran a 7.4, and then he ran a 7.3, and it just kept getting better and better throughout the event, and it was just awesome because the team was just so excited, so ecstatic, and it's just the energy, it was there. It was great time. I got to see Nicole run her best pass. I got to see Brianna run, and it just felt really good to finally participate in it and be in the middle of the action instead of on the sidelines watching like I was in the previous year. So that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. I will catch you guys in the next one.